All right. So what we've got here is the sequence, the circle of fifths. And now I'm going to actually play a sequence. Everybody play the progression for me. Ready? 1, 2, ready, go. Who'd like to try one? You have a brave soul. Want to try one, Gabe? Go ahead. So now what you want to do, without the chord, anyone playing the chord progression, see if you can just... you want to basically sort of map the same top notes, at least for this example. All right? So ready? Here we go. And. Right. Now that those worked, it wasn't exactly a sequence because you kind of, you got to model, move things around. There's a sequence, all right? So we'll play around with those. Okay, let's try now doing the same thing in minor. So now what we're going to do is we're going to shift over to D as the tonic. Everybody play D as your tonic. And it's the same thing. You just place your hand there. Okay, Lucas, play that bass line for me. Just Lucas. Oh, careful. Start on D. Nope. It's not C sharp because we're in the key of D minor. We need the diatonic notes in D minor. By the way, you'll notice that there's always one tritone. Right? There's always one diminished fifth. All the rest of them are perfect fifths. There's the diminished fifth. And the other thing you have to remember is that when you get to the A chord, you have to make it an A, C sharp, and E. You have to add the leading tone. Okay? So now let's take a look at what the right hand is going to do. It's going to be DFA. I'll do it slowly. You can look up on the screen for the... Then it's GBD. And then it's CEG, then it's FAC, then it's B, D, and F, then there's the tritone, there's the diminished chord, and then you have to remember the leading tone. Okay, let's do that again. Start on the D minor chord. All right, D, F, A, G, B, D, C, E, G, F, A, C, B, D, F, E, G, and B flat, A, C sharp, E, D, F, A. Okay? I'm going to come around, play those. Yes. Yep. And you get that contrary motion going. Good. That's right. There it is. Good. Very good. Get comfortable with that. That's good. Alright, so D minor. So you start with D, and we start with the third of the soprano. We're always starting with the third of the soprano. Good. And then G, B, D. A flat. Right. And then, so walk the the bass line. So that's the same. Right. Just all of the notes of the diatonic scale. The only thing you gotta remember up here is that when you get to the 5 chord, you need the C sharp. Okay, so start with the F at the top. F is the highest note. Here you go. Now this comes down. You want to make that sequence. That's it. Now this goes down, that goes up. Yep. And then this goes up, that goes down. Goes to B flat. Yeah, but the hand has to go down forward. You need the third note. No, you play the third note. That's not the soprano yet. Make the highest note. There you go. And now down to E natural. And then back up to A, down to A, T, do. Good. Try it. If you get D minor, try E minor. That's it. Good. Okay. So what you see here is a pattern. So we start with whether it's, I'm going to write it in the D minor example just to illustrate. So you start with the third, always start with the third in the soprano, and you just, the bass line simply goes down to fifth, and then we talked about connecting each of the kind of two strands. And when this goes down, this chord goes up. When this chord goes up, this one goes down. So I'm just putting the top note in. Full chord is implied in each case. All right. And once you've got that, the next step is there's actually two more steps. If we wanted to alternate each chord with its first inversion chord, I explained this in the little video that I posted, but you can do this. So you go from the root position chord to the root position chord, and then you add the third. So you go from here. All right. So it's every other chord. So it's not the D, not the C, not the B flat, but it's there are three of them. Try that. Okay, we'll play that. So play the D minor with all the full chords as we just did. So. This time, try that in the key of E minor. You can see that. From the beginning, D minor, F at the top. And your hand is too spread out. It goes down to the fifth. You see, if I have a finger over each key, I automatically get to the one that I need. Yep. Now this goes down. Yep. That's correct. Now what chord do you play? Up there. With an F. That's right. And then put the A. And then now this goes down. Yep. And then down to the E natural. That's it. Yep. Don't forget your C sharp. This hand goes down. Right hand goes down. Right hand goes down. You're not going down. Goes down. Keep going down. Then C sharp. And then 5, 1, and up. There you go. Try it again. Did you just do it? Go ahead. Did you just do it? No, I think I saw it. Go ahead. Go ahead. There you go. So what you, all right, everybody stop, please. So what you're doing here is you're doing 5-3 and then 6-3, 5-3 and then 6-3, 5-3 and then 6-3. Now, there's a couple more steps to this that we could do. What we could do is, instead of playing the root position and then the first inversion, you could go directly to the first inversion. So you leave out, but when you do that, what I want you to do is, oops, wrong note. I want you to think about the note that's the root. I want you to think about the way that you did it. And this is, by the way, kind of what you do whenever you're playing a first inversion chord. You need to think of what the root is and play those notes, but you don't play the root in the bass, you play the third in the bass. So now it's going to sound like this. So, put this. So what I was doing, so in D minor, what I was doing was, and so now what I do is I think that note, but I play so I go directly to the first inversion, not this one. So when you think the first inversion that you need, you think of what the root is, but you don't play that first, you just go directly to the first inversion. The other thing that you might notice is it's down to third, up a step, down to third, up a step. Okay, let's try that one. In D minor. Actually, you know what? Let's try it in E minor. Let's change. Okay, let's do this. E minor. Everybody do E minor. All right. So we're gonna do it with no first inversion chords. Everybody do it with no first inversion chords. So we're just gonna do. Don't forget F sharp, and then B major. Let's do that again. F sharp, and C natural. Okay? Do that. Do all the steps. Start with the third and the soprano. Make sure you start with the third and the soprano. Yeah, you've got your hands spread out, so you're getting, it's too big a space. You're not seeing the correct note. No, that's too wide. It's 5 notes. There it is. That's how far you have to go. The third and the soprano. There it is. Right. Now, what I've recommended people do is then you move your thumb over one note, then you move your pinky over one note, then you move your thumb over one note, and move your pinky over. So you move it one, as long as you see the bass line. Just the bass line. Nope. First. Nope, it doesn't go. It's that time. It's that time.
So it's clear.
We're in the key of E minor.
But you want me to go like
Yes. No. It's E 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Down fifth. Then once you've got that position, then you move this one down. Then you move that one down. You move this one down. You move that one. You move each one. That's right. That's right. That's right. You can eat it sharp. You gotta remember the key signature. And then B, B, E. Do the whole thing again. B. Yeah. See if you get your fan set up in the right place. It's easy. You know? Okay. So now let's start with the E and make the G the highest note. Yep. It's got to be a D chord, so the D, F sharp, A, and this hand goes down. That's right. Now that goes down. This goes up. Right. This goes up. That goes down. There's the F sharp. Then up. You're right. Yep. Right. And then you go down to F sharp. That's going to go up. F sharp, A, C. That's right. Now we need B, D sharp. D sharp. This hand goes down. D sharp. Right? Yep. E minor. Yeah. Yeah. You're still kind of hunting for the chords. That's, that you gotta be able to spell a triad. And that's kind of basic.
this chord or this one.
Yep. That's how they sing. Go ahead. D, F sharp. D, C, G. F, C. E, F. There it is. Good. If you've done it in root position, add the third to every other chord. So, go ahead. Yep. Good. Now add the third to the A minor, to every other chord. So, excellent. Yeah. So you do the third and the third. There you go. Good. Can we add the third? There it is. Good. Okay. So, now the book that the example from the book actually does this when you do the first inversion. instead of doing, which is got all three notes in the right hand, the book actually shows the octave in the right hand solution, which is if you're going to go directly to the first inversion, is a good solution. You wouldn't do that if you were doing this, because then you don't have the third right away. So either one is okay. This actually, I think, is probably better. Wait a minute. Doubling the bass in the 2/6 chord is kind of preferred. I think it's a little fussy, but the basic idea is to follow these progressions around, because they add to our what's available in terms of our Roman numeral roadmap. So if you look at the Roman numeral roadmap, so far, where does the 7 chord live? That's really the one that we haven't discussed. So we've discussed the 1 chord, the 2 chord, which is generally a predominant chord, the 3 chord, which is generally a sort of a chord that's often on the way to 4 or 6. It's kind of a bridge between the 1 and one of the predominant chords. The 4 chord has this perfect fifth relationship to the tonic as the subdominant, but it also acts as a predominant chord. The 5 chord is the main pillar of the whole system, 1 going to 5, back to 1. The 6 chord is a chord that is often used on the way to the 5, or perhaps on the way to the 2, or even to the 4. And the 7 is the 7 chord is the diminished 7 is usually seen as a chord that belongs or that kind of substitutes for the 5, usually in some kind of a voice exchange. And I really need to put the 6 over here as well, because those 1 chords could be in first inversion as well. But now the 7 diminished can also be part of this circle of fifths progression. And if you look in the major key, what we have, the 4 going to the 7 and the 7 going to the 3. Well, 7 going to the 3 we've already seen in the minor mode, especially 7 going to 3. When this, the 7 chord in root position is hardly, the 7 diminished chord in root position is hardly ever used except in this kind of circle of fifths progression. So, I guess we could add it with a little dotted 7 diminished, that then, well, actually, it doesn't go from the 1, it goes from the 4, doesn't it? So, so you go from the 1 to the 4, and then to the 7 diminished, which will get you to the 3, to the 6, to the 2, to the 5, to the 1. I mean, it's, the circle of fifths progression is a little bit hard to see in the Roman numeral roadmap, because the 7, this root position 7 triad really doesn't have much of a function in root position, except as a substitute for the 5, with the exception of this, 1, 4, 7, 6, 2, 5, 1. It's like, secret roadmap. You know, there's a secret passageway that includes the 7 in root position. Okay, but these are good examples. So what I'd like you to do, and given everything else, let me just double check here. There was something else that I thought we needed to do. Well, let's take a look at a couple of these examples. Let's do that. So diatonic sequences can happen in more than just a circle of fifths. This particular example from the Bach Well-Tempered Clavier is a good example of how we expect sequences to operate. Sequences generally don't operate indefinitely. They have the, you see, it says A1, A2, A3. Okay, so we have. There are 3 statements of exactly the same thing. So it's really just the one chord. He's going down this 1, 6, 4, 2, and that's where it changes. Okay, so here we have a sequence that is, I mean, you could actually it's kind of you can see it kind of as a fragment of the cycle of fifths with the 6th chord in between, the 1 to the 4, and then the 5 with the added 2 substituting for the 7 chord, perhaps. But these kinds of progressions will often have these patterns attached to them. There are also sequences, so the sequences can have descending fifths, which is what we just did. They can also happen in ascending fifths. They can also happen with 5 to 6 progressions. Let's take a look at the, so here's what we just played. Okay, these are the descending fifths. So, now if I went up in fifths, so I could have a sequence that goes up a fifth, down a fourth. You know that when you go down a fifth and up a fourth, it's really a continuing sequence of falling fifths, right? Because F goes down a fifth to B flat going down a fifth would get to E, but we'd run out of keys on the piano if we didn't alternate going up and down. So with the ascending fifths, now we have the 1 to the 5, and then it goes in the other direction. What was it's like upside down. Remember, we had the left hand, it was thumb, then down a fifth, and you slide it over. Let's do the same thing upside down, starting on F, going up. So you go F up to C. Now move your pinky up and the D up. Now, it doesn't make such a great progression to go from 3 up. Where do you stop? Because the nice thing about the falling fifth is that you end when you get to the C, which is the 5 goes to 1 and brings you back home. So we're going to stop the ascending fifth progression at the 3 and then go 4, 5, 1. Okay, so let's try that. We're going to take out of the way. All right, so now we're going to take, right, and it's the same thing. So we start with F, and we go up to C, F, go up to C, then G, go up to D, then we go up to A, and we're done. That's the end of the sequence. Now we're just going to go Fa, Sol, Do. Okay? And you can see that what the book describes is the bass goes up and the voices go down. Now the bass goes down and the voices go up. The bass goes up, the voices go down. The bass goes down, the voices go up. And now because I'm going from 3 to 4 to 5, I have to go in contrary motion. Okay? Let's try that. So F up to C, and then G up to D, then, and now just wait there a moment, and now the book actually shows a 2-6, not a 4. It doesn't matter that much. Okay, so try that, and I'll come and watch it. So on F, C, then G, then D, then A. You're done. Now 4, 5, 1. Now just put the chorus down. So start with the third in the soprano. With F. Yeah, watch it. That's it. And this goes up, so that goes down. So this goes down to the G. It's like a little, like an interim. You know what an interim is? It goes like this. You know? That's what you're doing. So F. That's what you gotta do. Right? And then when this goes up, that goes down. And this goes down, that goes up. There it is. Now up a fifth. Up. And then this goes down, that goes up. See, right, that goes B flat, C, F, and then those go down. 2-6 would be B flat. And this goes up to C, so that goes down. Come on. So third is down. perfect fifth up is still using that same contrary motion procedure. Go ahead. Now, this is not going to work as well in minor. You'll notice that they only showed it to you in major. Why not? Because if we were in F minor, the D chord would be a diminished chord. And it's not going to work as well. Now, if we really want to get fancy, we could try the next one, which has 5 to 6 motion. So essentially, the 5 goes to the triad. Follow exactly this pattern, but the fact is that you have that it's really like going up from. It's really an expansion of the one chord, but by going up from the 5 to the 6, you're really going from an F chord to a G minor chord to an A minor chord. Almost, the 5 to 6 breaks up the parallel fifths. What I think we're going to do is stop here, and we're going to look. I'd like you to play around with these three on page 301, and I'm going to post some examples that we will analyze for the next time. Okay, but this is these kinds of sequences. Are one example of things that don't fit into the circle of fifths. Into the roadmap so readily, because they're governed by voice leading, which is kind of skirts around the harmonic issues a little bit. Bach doesn't always follow, especially these chord progressions, because his voice leading lets him go anywhere. You can kind of go, and you can. The roadmap is a guide, but it's not everything. It doesn't have all the answers. So, all right.